Cause I've been ballin' since the days of back when. Niggas wasn't even thinking about drinking no juice and gin. Alright, niggas drinking the Thunderbird or Night Train, looking for the right fame, breaking like in dice games. Stacking Skrilla, so I'm tipping Hennessy, a shot after shot like at my enemies. Boom, boom.
Yo primates, it's Steve from the Anabolic Primate. Welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to talk a little bit about training frequency and optimal training frequency for a natural athlete. So essentially, a lot of the times people start out on what they call or what is known as a bro split. Now, a bro split can be defined as hitting muscle groups once a week. So for example, chest Mondays, back Tuesdays, Wednesday arms, Thursday shoulders, Friday legs, rest, repeat. So this kind of split is not particularly optimal for someone who's a natural athlete, primarily because your protein synthesis will only last up to 48 hours, maybe 72 hours if you're lucky, after you hit that particular muscle group. And then after that point, that particular protein synthesis doesn't actually occur for that particular muscle group. So for example, on chest, on Mondays, by the time Wednesday hits, you're no longer in that building stage. You're no longer in that anabolic stage, okay? So this is okay for someone who is who's on steroids, who's an unnatural athlete, because their protein synthesis is actually extended a lot longer than 3 days. It's extended to more like 5 days or even 6 days, almost a full week. So for example, you know, it's optimal for a natural athlete to be able to hit their muscle groups twice or even 3 times a week. That way you've got up to 3 to 4 days in between hitting your groups, hitting your muscle groups again. So optimal training splits for something like that is obviously like an upper or lower split. So you're hitting your upper body one day, you're hitting your lower body the next, hitting your upper body again, lower body next, rest, etc., etc. So this kind of split is really effective because that way you're actually hitting muscle groups, giving a little bit of a rest, same muscle group within the next 2 or 3 days, rest again, etc., etc. You can also do things like full body workouts 3 or 4 days a week. In fact, this is optimal for someone who's starting out initially in training and bodybuilding, primarily because you're conditioning your central nervous system into and shocking your central nervous system into proper strength gains by sticking to main compound movements, full body exercises for a full within a week. So 3 or 4 sessions a week of something like that is certainly going to shock your body and give you enough time to recover, ready for your next workout. Now, someone who's, I would consider a more intermediate lifter, so someone who's either A, been lifting for more than a year, who's passed their initial 10 pounds of muscle mass that they've gained for that year, who no longer have the noob gains as per se, someone who can squat more than 1.5 times their body weight or bench press more than their own body weight, etc., etc. I would recommend something like a push-pull leg split twice a week. So currently what I do is I actually do a push-pull leg split, but I use a slight different variation for that. I'll explain that in another video. But essentially a push-pull leg split is just all your pushing movements, so your bench press, your shoulder presses, and you're primarily either hitting your triceps or hitting your biceps. And then you've got your pulling movements, so all your rows, your pull downs, all your back exercises, and then hitting either your biceps or your triceps for that day. And then you've got your leg workouts, which is obviously just your lower body. I like to put core in there as well, hit the abs on the same day, primarily because with a leg workout, doing a lot of squatting, front squats, back squats, it's requiring a lot of stabilization of the core, and therefore it makes more sense to be training your core on the same day. Obviously, you want to be training your core after your leg workout. You want a fresh core for doing things like heavy squats and heavy front squats and things like that. So essentially you've got a push-pull legs off, push-pull legs off. So that's a 7-day cycle of hitting all your muscles twice a week. Doing a routine like that requires you to have less volume so you can recover. Having said that, you can gain a lot more optimal strength during the bulking stage, and generally speaking, the more strength you gain, the more hypertrophy you're triggering, and the more muscle size you are actually building, depending on how much you're eating. So again, to wrap this up, guys, make sure you're hitting your muscle groups at the minimum of 1.5 times twice a week. So once every 4 days or once every 3 days, if you can help it. That way you're really optimizing your training and you're really optimizing the nutrition you're taking in. Alright, see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned and remember to comment, like, and subscribe to my videos. See you next time. Ciao.
Yeah, we gon' bust a little something like this, me and my nigga Mr. Dow. First I gotta give me some weed before I wreck this bitch. I'm just laid back.